My name is Marisela Barbosa Cortez with The Time Is Ya. I am very excited to kick off the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration with the First Latinos in Science Education Conference, hosted by Toro University in collaboration with the S Latino program at Vallejo High School. I am very excited that we are going to have a great panel of speakers that will inspire and motivate our young Latinos to explore careers in the medical field, whether it's education or doctor, nurse. There are several careers that they can explore and learn some great insights. If you're interested in listening to the panel speakers, I recommend that you visit our YouTube channel so that you can get the full conference coverage, and hopefully you can pass it along to inspire and motivate other young Latinos that might be interested in this career. Once again, we want to thank Toro University, the S Latino program, and remember, la educación es poder y tú puedes.
My name is Dr. Tammy Hendricks. I am the Dean of the Medical School here at Toro. I also graduated from the medical school here at Toro, so I had the opportunity to learn and train right here in Vallejo. I now practice pediatrics in one of our clinics here at the Solano County Clinic, and I'm very proud to be our interim chief academic officer of our university, meaning I help to provide oversight to all of our academic programs here. How's your day been so far today? Can I get like a thumbs up or a medium thumb or, all right, I see like 2 thumbs up, but I'm gonna guess that it's been pretty good so far. I would love to hear, and you can all shout out at once, what's been your favorite part so far that you've seen? Did I hear food? The simulation, the virtual reality, the ultrasound, the OMM. The simulation. Awesome. I love it. Well, it is a pleasure to have all of you here today as part of this important event that brings together educators, students, administrators, and advocates who are passionate about shaping the future of healthcare and education. We are thrilled to partner with the Latinos in Education Conference to celebrate diversity, inclusion, and excellence in education while inspiring the next generation of leaders, and that's all of you. Today's event was designed to open doors for you, to spark your curiosity and explore the many pathways that are available into the medical field. I hope that you've all had a fantastic time exploring the various hands-on stations today. You've now had the opportunity to immerse yourselves in the world of virtual reality, delve into the power of ultrasound, learn about osteopathic manipulative medicine, and experience our simulation lab. Each station has given you a glimpse into the innovative ways that we approach medical education here at Toro. Up next, you'll have the chance to hear from our dedicated students, faculty, alumni during a panel discussion where they'll share their personal journeys, challenges, and triumphs. We hope that their stories inspire you to pursue your dreams with confidence and passion. This is more than just a day to listen and learn. It's an opportunity to experience the dynamic culture that Toro University has firsthand. We invite you to engage, ask questions, discover what makes Toro special, the values we hold, the resources we provide, and the unique opportunities that we offer. Our mission is not only to educate, but to uplift and empower students like you who are ready to make an impact on the world. Thank you for being here and for taking the first step forward towards what could be a transformative journey. We look forward to seeing how you, too, will make a difference in the communities and beyond. So with that, we'll get started with our fantastic panel, and maybe we'll start with having them introduce themselves.
Can we give a round of applause, please? All right. Well, buenas tardes. How are y'all feeling today? Oh, come on. Y'all just ate lunch. There's a little more energy than that. How are y'all feeling today? All right. Well, my name is Julian Cuevas. I am your moderator for this lovely panel this afternoon. By a quick way of introduction, I'm from Dixon, small town just up the road here, about 20-30 minutes or so. My day job is I am the Director of California Strategy at PolicyLink. My night job, what I often refer to as my Batman gig, I am the President of the Dixon School Board, President of the Dixon Library Board, and was just recently elected to be on the Solano County Democratic Central Committee. I'm the son of Mexican immigrants. My dad is from Michoacan, my mom is from Guanajuato, and I am a first gen here in the United States, along with, I'm sure, many of us here on this stage. Before we turn to the panels here, or the panelists here, I want to just give a quick shout out and a big thank you to Maricela and the Time Is Ya for organizing this amazing conference, as well as Toro University for hosting us here. So if we can give them all a round of applause, please. Now, today I am joined on stage by some phenomenal leaders, including Andrea García, Vice President of Advancement here at Toro University, Jimena Vallejos Núñez, second-year osteopathic medical student here at Toro University, Patricia Vargas, Professor and Director of the new DMS program here at Toro University, and Dr. Richie Dueñas, pharmacist and Toro University alum. Please, let's give them a round of applause. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first question, and it goes a little something like this. Can you please share with us a bit about who you are, where you're from, and maybe where you grew up? And we'll start here with Richie Dueñas.
Good afternoon, everybody. So, to answer the question, I grew up here in the East Bay, in the Fruitvale district of East Oakland. I'm the son of immigrants as well. To say where we're from in Mexico, my mom is from Durango, my dad from Jalisco. I came to Toro starting off in a community college program where I transferred to UC Davis, and from Davis kind of took a break, a year off before I applied here to Toro and their new pharmacy program that they had at the time. So after graduating the program here, I went on to be a pharmacist. I started off working at Rite Aid, retail pharmacy, and I found that was kind of tough for me as far as what my goals were in life. I made some big sacrifices, opened up my own pharmacy here in Vallejo, my first one here, and I continued to grow on, open up some other stores, and be really involved in the community. I take pride in being able to do community events, help out wherever I can, and just really entrench myself in understanding what health needs there are in our community and seeing where I can do to help out. I think I missed the other part of the question. Was there anything else?
That was it, brother.
That's it.
You hit it. All right. We'll go ahead and pass.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patricia Vargas. Yes, as they mentioned, I'm new. We are pretty new here at Toro University, California, but I'm happy to be here. I'm the program director of the Diagnostic Medical Sonography program. But I come from Florida. I lived in Florida for over 25 years. So I'm pretty new here in the area, and I love the area, Vallejo, and the whole area of Northern California. How did I start? So I have to tell you, when I graduated from high school, I was very interested in being a kindergarten teacher, and so I went to school to do that, and I graduated, I worked for a couple of years, and then I got the opportunity to come to the United States with my brothers. So when I arrived here at the US, I started looking into working as a kindergarten teacher here again, but I had to revalidate a lot of courses. After studying for 5 years in my country, in Peru, I thought that was a very long time to study to be a teacher here again. So my brother was already in the medical field. He's a nurse, and he was encouraging me to do something in the medical field. So that's when I started looking into different careers in the medical field: nursing, nuclear medicine, or radiology tech. And then I started shadowing someone doing ultrasound exams in the hospital, and I was fascinated by that. So that's when I started getting interested in that. At that time, I started working at a hospital as a transporter. So that's how I started, as a transporter, transporting patients from department to department or from their patient rooms to the testing centers, or where they had to be in the hospital, within the hospital, or sometimes from the emergency room to the rooms. I had to transport the patients not only on wheelchairs but also on stretchers, which was very challenging for me at that time. A lot of times I would end up with back pain or arm pain, but I had the determination of continuing studying and do something within the medical field. So that's when I started looking into different careers, and as I said, I was fascinated by sonography, and I decided to study that. I went to school in Florida, I graduated, I started working as a sonographer. I worked as a sonographer for some years there, and then I had the opportunity, my professors at the university where I graduated contacted me, and they wanted me to join them teaching in the program with them. So I was very happy, and I joined them, and for about 3 or 4 years I was doing both jobs. I was doing a sonography job in the hospital, clinical, and then I was also teaching. So it was difficult to do both jobs at the same time, but I learned a lot, and I gained a lot of experience, and after some time I decided to just do one of them because it was just too much for me. But that's how I started teaching sonography, and that's how I ended up teaching and continuing my career. After that, I studied my master's degree, and then I also obtained a doctoral degree to continue teaching in sonography. And then I decided to come here to Northern California with this, to join Toro University and just try to help the community here and build the sonography program here, so we can increase the education here in the sonography field, as I know there's a lot of need of sonographers here in the area.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm really glad that y'all made it, and I love speaking to the youth. My brother, he's also in high school, so I kind of know what y'all are going through. But yeah, I'm Simona Nunez. I am a second-year medical student, and for a long time I didn't think I would make it this far, so fingers crossed we just keep going. But yeah, so I was born in Peru, and I immigrated here with my mom when I was 5 years old. So I think I didn't know I wanted to get into medicine, but after the millions of papers I had to translate in English, I kind of just was more and more interested in the medical field. Later, as we were getting used to living here in California, I'm from Southern California, from LA. But as we were, getting used to and accustomed to living here in the U.S., my mom eventually got a job as a CNA, which is a certified nurse assistant, and she's been working as that for I want to say maybe 15 years now. So as I was going to high school, I was just like, oh, I'll do that. I'll be a CNA. I'll do what my mom's doing, because it's just me and her here, so I didn't know anything else or anyone doing anything else. I was just like, I'll just be a CNA. Later on, when my stepdad came in the picture, he was like, you're not gonna do that. That's too much physical labor for you. He was like, it's a lot of work, which I know because I'd see my mom come home like after her 2 jobs of being a CNA, so basically all day. And it was a lot of work, so I knew that they wanted me to do something else. And I was still interested in the medical field, so I was like, okay, well, I'll try. In high school, I didn't really have many mentors, so I just had I think like a school counselor, but I maybe didn't utilize her as much as I should have. So I decided to just go to community college because I didn't know how to do the applications for undergrad, and I didn't know what exactly needed to be on those essays. So I was just like, okay, community college it is. That was kind of easier because it was just an online application and then you're in. So I was like, okay, sounds good. So I was doing that for a while. I was there for my first year, and then I got really sick. So I had to take some time off. So it ended up taking 3 years for me to finish community college. And then once I was there, I was just like, yeah, I really like this science stuff. Biology seems cool. Chemistry, okay, I can keep going. So I decided to get an AA in general biology, and then I was talking more to my counselors and talking more to students who had connections and knew what they wanted to do. So through building those connections, I realized that, okay, maybe I want to be a doctor. So I applied to many schools from community college to undergrad. I applied to many schools, and I was very fortunate. I got into UC San Diego, and so I continued my educational journey there, and I got my bachelor's degree in general biology. And then I was stuck again. I was like, oh, what do I do now? How do I get to medical school? So a lot of applications require you to have clinical experience, and when you're in school, you don't have much time to do that. You're in school, you're being a student, you're spending hours studying or helping your family or doing something. You don't have time. So I had to take a gap year, and during that gap year, I was working in the emergency department. So I was scribing there, and there I got to know a lot more doctors, and I got to experience what DOs were like, what MDs were like, and that really fortified, okay, I do want to do this. This is my calling. So after that, I didn't have the best grades, I didn't have the best scores, so I was just like, okay, what else can I do to help me get to where I want to be? So then I found Toro, and Toro has a master's program, and I joined the master's program. Very difficult, but it helps you get to where you need to be. So I did that for a year, and then I got my interview here at Toro with medical school, and now I'm here. But yeah, if y'all need anything or need help navigating through high school or undergrad or just anything, please reach out to me. Like I said, I have a younger brother, so I know what y'all are going through. I will give you my contact info.
My name is Andrea García. A little bit of a different journey from the doctors and doctors-to-be to my left. My parents came from Argentina in 1960 on their honeymoon and never went back. They stayed here. They fell in love with the United States. They had one daughter in 1961, and then soon after became citizens and had one more daughter, that's me. So, born and raised in New York, in Elmhurst, Queens to be exact, where if you want to get away from something, you sit on the fire escape and you just dream. The 60s and the 70s, which is when I was growing up, were very different than today. We were not allowed to talk Spanish outside of our house. We were not allowed to let people know we were from Argentina. We just had to act like we only spoke English. So it was very different because when you go through an experience like that, it rocks your identity and who you are. So city, not necessarily New York City, but from Queens or Brooklyn or the Bronx, they have this heavy accent, and that's what I sounded like, which is not the same. Which is funny because when I was in New York and I talked to Californians, I thought, you have the accent. So, it was true. So, got rid of that accent, and I'll tell you why. Because people throughout my life told me I couldn't do it. I couldn't study, I couldn't go to school. I would amount to absolutely nothing. And for those of you who have heard that in your life, I am going to prove that it's not true. Because you can be and you can do what you apply yourself to do. And so what they don't realize, what they did for me, they actually gave me air beneath my wings because I ended up proving to them that, yeah, I can do it. And it did squash me for a while. So after high school, when I graduated, I didn't have the luxury of going to college. I had to work 3 jobs and help out at home. And so I did that for several years. And then I met the love of my life, this guy that I fell absolutely in love with. And in fact, I followed him to California. And so I ended up living with him, wasn't sure it was going to happen, but guess what? 34 years actually yesterday, still married to that man. But I will say this, it was his support and his trust and his love that helped me go to school. And he told me, we could do this, you got this. And so I ended up eventually getting my master's degree, but it was a journey because I went to community college, and during community college, I got pregnant with twins and had to leave school, but that didn't stop me. I went back 5 years later, did my bachelor's degree, worked as a reporter at a newspaper, a local newspaper, and actually won several awards from there, and then went on to work at Toro University. My passion, my love is communication studies. And that is one of the areas that I work in now. So I am the Vice President of Advancement, and that oversees communications, alumni relations, fund development, website, and diversity, actually. And so it is an incredible, fun job. But the reason I'm telling you that is because si se puede, you can do these things. If someone tells you you can't, yes, you can. Thank you.
And I'd like to give, this one's on now. Can you guys hear me with this now? Yeah. I get my own microphone. All right. Really quick, before we pivot to the next question, Dr. Dueñas, they cheated and started talking about their educational journey. I'd like to see if you'd like to briefly share a little bit about yours as into becoming a pharmacist. Please.
I didn't start off right out of high school going to community college. I had a very non-traditional way to getting to community college, so I worked for my dad's, where my dad worked at, where they build Teslas at right now before it was Toyota. And out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't. I had no clue. I didn't want to go to school. I wasn't ready for school. So I went to go work at this big manufacturing plant where they build Toyotas. And I went in there. My dad got me a job. My uncles worked there. My whole family worked there pretty much. And I got thrown in this welding department. These cars are driving by, and I had to weld it, and it was tough work. Lots of fumes and smoke, and I was 18, 19 years old, and here are these grown men with these families, and they were supporting their families with this job. And here I was, some skinny little kid that can barely fit in his coveralls doing welding on cars. And they would look at me and they're like, hey kid, why don't you go out and live for a little bit before you settle down in a job like this? But of course not, my dad got me the job there, and I didn't know what I wanted to do at that time, so I did it. I did it and I didn't like it. The money was great, I got to go out, I got to travel, I got to do all this, but it was hard work. And it was the type of hard work that I wasn't used to doing. I had to be at work every single day. My dad worked across the plant, but if I called in to work and I didn't show up, he was there the next day to see and talk to me why I didn't go to work that day. So that was kind of embarrassing to have your dad always looking after you at the same place where you're working at. But eventually, while I was working there, working this production setting, in my mind, I was dreaming about other things that I wanted to do. And all I knew is at that point, I did want to go to school. I did want to do something for myself. And I went to community college. I went to the community college in my area. And within the community college, they had a program for Latinos. It was called Puente. Puente has been around for a long time, and it helped out a lot of people. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I had an idea that I wanted to get into healthcare. In my family, we have some health conditions, and there was something that I thought that I could always have a job, and it was interesting to me. Medicine was interesting to me. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So Puente has this program where they'll partner you up with somebody in the field that you want to do. A lot of folks wanted to get into criminal justice. Some folks wanted to get into healthcare. Some people were engineers. I wanted to get into healthcare, and they teamed me up with a physician. And the physician took me to Alta Bates. I'm not sure if it's called Alta Bates in Berkeley anymore, but he took me there, and he took me on a whole tour of the hospital, and he showed me all the different jobs that were there. And some of them were very interesting. And my question was like, well, how much school do I have to do in order to get that job? And the physician was very smart. He understood pretty much how long these programs would be. So we went around all through the hospital, and we saw the different radiology, we saw nursing, we saw everything. And then we go in the elevator, and we go all the way to the bottom of the hospital, in the basement. And I was like, well, where are we going here? Are we going to the morgue? What's up? We went all the way to the bottom of the hospital. And in there was a room with all these computers, people wearing white coats. They had, and this was a long time ago, they had 3 or 4 screens up on their computer. I said, well, what are they doing here? And they're preparing orders that the doctor sent in order to get patient their medicine. These are pharmacists here. And, I was young at the time, and I said, well, this looks like a really easy job. I go, how much school is this, And the physician was like, okay, well, this is, you got to get your doctorate in order to do this job. And I found it, somewhat interesting. I started actually talking to the pharmacists there, and they shared with me what the type of job was like. And from there, I had an interest in pharmacy, whether it was hospital or otherwise. And it was at that point where, I kind of continued through community college. I found out all the classes that I had to take and what kind of grades I needed to get my transfer agreement so I can go on to UC Davis, because they had a transfer agreement there. And I majored in biochemistry, and I worked really hard. I started off taking bonehead biology classes and remedial English classes. And really after that, I oftentimes would remember my time in the factory that would really motivate me not to fail and to continue on. It was a big thing for me to leave the plant. So I felt the pressure. You left this great job in order to go back to school. And that kind of propelled me. And I put a lot of fire on myself in order to achieve. And I had a lot of support from my family. So from there, it just kind of went through. UC Davis has a special relationship here with Toro, and a lot of students from Davis sometimes will come here to join the DO program or the nursing program or the pharmacy program. So I was fortunate enough to get accepted here, and I was very happy with my decision to come to Toro. I love the small classes here. I love how I can speak to my professors and they'll listen to me. If I have some challenges with understanding something, they would spend the time with me to help me understand, or they challenge me like, hey, well, you got to put in some extra time so you can get to everybody's level, and this is how you do it. So that's kind of like my educational background and how I got to where I was at. Thank you.
Thank you. We got about 13 minutes. And we got like 10 questions left to go, so we're gonna do rapid fire. You're all limited to 1 minute. 1 minute to these responses. Let's see how this goes. All right, so first question is, we are here celebrating not only the First Latinos in Science Conference, but it also just happens to be Latino Heritage Month. And so, that's right. And so in that spirit, the question is, why are you proud to be Latino? And why is it important to celebrate Latino Heritage Month like what we're doing here today? And we'll go ahead and start right back here up top.
That's a very deep question.
You got 1 minute.
I got 1 minute. I think our culture is so rich, so wealthy with all the different flavors that are part of it. I think within us, in our genetics, we have a very passionate way of looking at life, and we savor those family and traditional things that we do. So that's part of the pride that I have in this month and me as a Latino. And why is it important? I think it's important to recognize what all the contributions we have to this country. And I think we don't see it as much as we should on how we're represented in the media, in movies, and in television, and out in the workforce. So for me, I think it's very important that the whole world in this country understands what our contributions are. And you folks are the future. You guys are going to be the ones out there, and I hope that wherever you go, that you're able to celebrate it and just continue on with your traditions.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think I'm very proud also of our roots, our traditions, our cuisine, right? I think we all enjoy that. The celebrations and the traditions that we have is just very rich. And I think it's very important to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month because that gives us a sense of belonging in this country, and it helps us keep going, right? It's not just hearing the bad news on TV about Hispanics, or this is what happened, or in the Hispanic community, this is what happens. What about our contributions? That also needs to be highlighted. The hard work that we put into in this country to help in this country to help bring it out. I think that's important. And as Dr. Blania said, I completely agree with that as well. You guys are the future, so please work hard to put our name high.
Yeah, I have to echo what they said. It's very true. I feel like we have all contributed to this country, but specifically me, why I'm proud is because, well, for one, like for starters, I never thought, like I said, I'd make it this far. And so when I look back at my family and I see how proud they are, I'm just like, yeah, I'm a Peruvian, first generation immigrant here. And it brings a lot of pride to me that it is, sorry, I get like choked up, that I am Latina, I am here. And it's important to celebrate that. Like, it's important to celebrate that and acknowledge all of the success that you've had and all the contributions you've made to not only bettering this country, but also bettering yourself. So yeah, that's my answer.
The bad things about being the last person is that everybody said what you were going to say, so there isn't really much for me to add, so I'm going to keep within 1 minute. I look at all of you, and I'm wondering as they're talking, what are you all contributing? As you listen to us, what are you bringing to the table? What are you going to bring, right? And what are you bringing to the table? Just looking at all of you, what are your studies? And that's what's important because we have to continue this lineage. This is who we are. We're Latinos, right? And we have to continue that and bring that tradition, that spirit, that love, that dance, everything that we bring it here to this country. And just to add one more thing that all of you did not add, is the one thing that I'm so proud of is continuing my parents' heritage here.
All right. So thank you. We actually have to wrap here. If I may ask just one last thing from everyone. So I can't move on without at least acknowledging the fact that you all are here in the science and healthcare field and the importance of making sure that more Latinos are part of this industry. So I just want to acknowledge that. And so if you all have questions, please ask them. They're here as a support system. But there is one last question I'd like to ask, and this is a 30-second response, so even harder. What advice, on your way out here today, what advice do you have for these high school students pursuing a college degree? So any wisdom that you have to share with these students as they prepare for their personal and professional careers?
Develop good habits. It starts today. It's like you're working out. And when you're first working out, you're trying to lift up some weights, you're clumsy. And when you're getting serious about school, it can feel like that. But if you stick to it and stick to a regimen, you'll find that you'll be able to push yourself farther, and you'll be surprised at the growth you have and the gains you get and how much farther you can push yourself.
Don't look for quick results or quick gratification. Be ready to invest time and make sacrifices for something that you really want. Set up your goals high.
Don't be afraid to be annoying. Go ask that person that's offering help. Like, go ask them for help. If there's something that you want to do but you don't know how to get to the next step, that's what that person is there for. Like, don't, even if you think you're being annoying, who cares? That is your future that's on the line. So if you need help, ask for it.
And lastly, pay attention. Listen, be alert, see everything that's going around you. People are saying something that I promise you at some point will come back. It's great advice, it's a comment, but something that you'll always take with you. So pay attention and don't forget your roots.
Thank you.